So this is your sixth program. What does the program state is? We should draw a simple shaded scene consisting of a teapot on a table. This is the first statement. What you have to do first, you have to draw a scene which consists of a teapot. I guess everyone know what is a teapot. The scene should consist of a teapot which is placed on a table. Then define suitably the positions and properties of light sources along with the properties of surfaces. I guess we have studied this properties of light, then different types of light sources. Then we have seen what are some of the properties of surfaces. Can someone tell what are the properties of surfaces? Or can someone tell how the surfaces are being distinguished when a particular object is being placed? Based on the smoothness of the surface, right? The properties depends on the smoothness of the surface. There, if the surface is softer, what happens to the object? It might bounce there, or it might remains the same. What if the surface is not clean? It consists of some objects in that particular surface. It depends on the object. It will stay or it will not stay on that particular surface. So you need to define some of the properties of light as well as surfaces with respect to the object which is being used in the scene. What is the object used in the scene? Table as well as the teapot. Okay, so this is the question. Then let's see how the algorithm flows. So this is the snapshot of the output of your program. So this is the scene. Scene in the sense there are walls which is being represented in 3 dimension. You can check out there is a 3D table as well here. On the table, a teapot is being placed. So this should be your output of your program. In the program, what we have to do, we have to develop a simple scene which consists of the wall. That is, this is the wall. We have to create this wall, then table and a teapot. That is this table as well as a teapot. We have each and every function for table, for teapot, for defining wall and all. Okay, with respect to different functionalities. Then once you are done with this, once you draw the wall, table as well as a teapot, you need to demonstrate the different effects of lightning as well as shading. That is, you should demonstrate different coloring of the particular object which is being represented in the scene. Then, so this is the flow of the algorithm. First, we'll be using a function called glut solid cube, so that this solid cube is used to represent the wall. That is, to draw a wall, we'll be using the function glut solid cube. Then we'll be using the same function for drawing 4 cubes and then scale it in the downward direction to make it look like table edges. That is, I am using same solid cube function to draw the surface of the table. Then I will scale this particular cube in such a way that it should be scaling in downwards direction, that is towards down, which might look like the cubes, which might look like the legs of that particular table. Okay, what did I tell in the algorithm? We are using solid cube, that is glut solid cube, to draw the wall. I'll be using the same solid cube function to draw a cube. I will be scaling it in the form. It should look like some table legs also. Then I'll be using solid teapot, which is actually used for drawing a teapot onto the table. So these are the 3 important functionalities which are being used in the program. One is solid cube, two. One is the solid cube and the other one is solid teapot for representing the walls as well as the table, and then teapot is used to draw the teapot function. So we'll check out how the program works. Then, as we all know, the program starts with the main function, which consists of 2 arguments, argument count as well as argument vector. Then I will initialize the glut library by passing the address of the count, that is argument count, as well as the argument vector. Now, as the program says, we have to specify the parameters of light or properties of light sources. So I should specify the intensity of light in the program. So I'll be using ambient light there. I'll specify the intensity of ambient light with respect to float ambient by passing the parameters, which is actually RGB as well as alpha here. Alpha, or this might be represent ambient as well. That is, which is basically specifying the ambient light. Then I should give the position of the light source. So with respect to the position of the light source, I'll be representing the position here with respect to left, right, bottom, and top. So light position is being specified with the help of light pos function here. Then I will position the window as well as size of the window. I'll give the size of the window as 700, and then I'll create a window called teapot. That is, I'm renaming the window, naming the window as teapot. Then I'll call the display function. Then I'll enable two functions. That is GL enable, that is lightning, as well as the light source. That is, what does this two command or two lines of codes indicates is you are just switching on the light. That is, you are enabling the light function to be on. Then what does this light 0 tells us? This basically indicates the light source. That is, you are enabling the light source. So these are the callback functions which are being called in the main program. Then I'm basically using a lightning model here, which consists of some parameters. What is the lightning model I have used? I have used the ambient light here, right? This is the light I have used, that is ambient light. So I need to pass parameters for that particular ambient light with respect to some materials. So what does this GL material function tells? It basically specifies the parameters which are actually related to the material of that particular lightning model, that is ambient light. So with the help of this function, GL material FV, I'm specifying the parameters as front, ambient, as well as ambient. This basically tells which kind of light material you are using. Then in GL light FV function, what does it does is it basically returns light source parameter values with respect to some color, that is GL light 0, which is actually white color. The light color is white. So I should specify the light color as well. So I'll give GL light FV with respect to light 0, which tells you the color of the light is white with respect to ambient, then position of the light, as well as the position of that particular incident light, which is incident on the ambient light. So this function basically indicates the intensity of light which has been defined here. So indicates this. So then I will enable the test called GL depth test, and then I'll close the main program with respect to GLUT main loop. Now, after this function, main program, I should check out the display function, right? The first callback function was display. There are n number of callback functions used here. So we'll see each and every functionalities in detail with respect to two different functions. That is, which are the important functions you need to remember with respect to this program? Solid cube function as well as the teapot function. Then, as this is the main program, this tells you the explanation of main program. What happens in argc? This is whatever you have used here. What happens in argc? Basically, in argc, they pointer to the program's unmodified variable from main. This basically points to the program which consists of some variables. Then, as this is an argument count, it will return some value. So once it returns something, the value pointed by the argc will be updated. That is, wherever you can check out the star point here, this points to a variable, right? This is pointing to some variable. It keeps on increasing once the argument count value is written. Then it extracts command line options intended for the GLUT library. That is, some options are being extracted with the help of argument count, which can be used in GLUT library. So what happens in argv? In argv, argv variable is being retained from the main. That is, modified, not modified, unmodified argument vector variable is being given to the main, and then the data for argv will be updated because it extracts some command line option, which is basically understood by the GLUT library. Both the commands or the parameters are same, but the count, the last value changes. The count changes as well as the vector changes here. So this is how the command line prompt looks into your program, which tells args is an argument count, argv is an string of arguments, where rb, these are some of the variables you can pass with respect to array, where rb of 0 gives the name with full path, rb of 1 gives the first argument, and so on with respect to different arrays you have passed. So that was the basic explanation of argc as well as argv. Then, as I told, there are display functions called in the program. The first callback function is display function. So first, I'll be defining the viewport. We have seen the representation, how to represent a viewport with respect to size of that particular window. Uh, Size of that particular window. So with the help of this function viewport, a viewport is being created of this particular size. Now I will be clearing a background with respect to passing the parameters as color buffer bit as well as depth buffer bit, which basically represents the memory, that is the buffer of that particular program. Then I am creating an object by passing these parameters. So whenever you pass this particular obj, object is being created with respect to that particular area. Then the object which is being created with these parameters is being rotated with respect to all the axes. Then translation is being applied with respect to that particular area. Then teapot function is being called, where an object is being created with respect to these sizes. Okay, so this was about the main display function, where there is an one more callback function called glut solid teapot here. So once the display function is called, we studied this in today's class, right? The viewport function. Just a second. Yeah. This was the display function. You just remember, in the display function, an object is being called here with respect to which an object is being created with some parameters, then rotated. What is the object here created is, it is just a cube. You are representing a cube and then rotating a cube so that it will look like a wall. Okay. So with these parameters, you are doing it. Then I will rotate and translate that object, whatever the object is being created, so that it will look in the format of wall, so that with respect to these parameters, then I will call a function teapot. I'll put the program or the display function into an identity matrix, which is load identity. Then as we have seen viewport function here, which is defined here, so we'll check out in detail what is viewport, what happens in this particular viewport function. We saw in the class also how viewport function is been defined. It is been defined with parameters x, y, as well as width, as well as height. So x and y values, the x as well as y value of that particular viewport is 0, 0, and height as well as width is represented as 700, 700, which basically results in a clipping window. Then what does GL clear color buffer bit as well as GL depth buffer bit tells? GL clear basically clears the buffer which is being specified, and these two parameters which are being passed in the GL clear function, which are actually constant throughout the program. Whenever this particular GL clear is being called, you are telling you should clear the buffer. The memory should be cleared in the program. In this particular example, the depth buffer and the buffers currently enabled for color writing. Why we'll be using this color buffer as well as buffer bit is to just specify the color of the particular object. Then as I told, there is an object created in the display function. I will call a callback function called obj, which is representing the object with terminologies which are actually the parameters with respect to x, y, z, and x, y, z with respect to translation as well as scaling. This represents translation parameters. This is scaling parameters. So I'll call the function rotate, which is basically used to rotate the cube with respect to axis. So how the rotate works, I'll give GL rotated with respect to 50. Check out the axis x, y, as well as z. I should rotate the cube with respect to y axis in this particular parameter. I should rotate the cube with respect to 10 angle In which axis? X axis. But there is a negation sign here which represent the opposite side of X axis. Then I should rotate the particular cube with respect to Z axis, that is minus Z axis. Then once the cube is being rotated, I will translate it as well as I will scale it so that it will come in a position of a wall there. Then I'll be using glut solid cube to represent a cube. Then I will load the particular identity matrix to the program. Then once, as I told, once the rotation as well as translation is in, if I call glut solid cube function, what happens? A solid cube is being displayed onto the screen. Where this happens only when the identity matrix is being loaded. So there are two examples given here. One is with the lightning effect. If you are giving the lightning effect, then this will come. If you are not giving lightning effect, so this will be represented into your output screen, that is in your viewport. So this happens only when you call glut solid cube function in the program. Then as I told, in the object that I have rotated, right, I have used rotation operations there. So check out how with respect to y axis, with respect to x axis, and with respect to z axis, how it looks if you rotate that particular cube. You can check out here, there is a representation of wall here with respect to rotation function. Then simultaneously translation as well as scaling is done. So check out the outputs of translation as well as scaling. So this is how the object which you have created looks like now. Then that was about the display function, how to use the object. If the command line or the control comes to this line calling the object with respect to the parameter, it basically tells how to give that particular wall. If you with the help of this command, the first screen of wall is being created. With the second command, this wall is being created. The third command, this whole part is being created. Then finally, with similar object, if you want to refer this object function which is being given here, you can check out just this functionalities. Check out the parameters given. So whenever this is being called in the display function, that wall keeps on building up. So simultaneously for second, third, then for an object, now the wall is being drawn with respect to these four parameters. Now I want to draw the table legs. So with respect to that, with similar function, that is object, I will draw the table legs as well. With the second leg of the table is drawn. By third, the third leg of the table is drawn. At last, this is drawn. Now, after this, what is the next state? I should draw a screen of that particular table. So I'll be using the same function, object function, with respect to translation X, translation Y, translation Z, scaling X, scaling Y, as well as scaling Z axes. So once this is executed, once the control comes to this line, see, the table screen is being drawn. Now the rotation operation is calculated simultaneously. That is, with respect to what was the previous part, now the wall is drawn and the table is also drawn with the help of these functions. Now I should draw a teapot onto the table. So the next task is drawing a teapot. So let's see how that teapot is being drawn. Once you call this glut solid teapot, it is represented as an initial value. The initial value given to that particular teapot is 0.09. This is actually a default function which is being stored in glut library. What happens in this teapot function is it basically draws a teapot with respect to the specified dimension. That is, size of the teapot is so much to be drawn onto the table. So if you just call solid teapot function directly, I can't tell this is a callback function. I can tell it is a function which is used to just create a teapot function. So the final output when you represent the program, compile the program. So this is the output you get for the teapot program. So this was all about the teapot program. I guess it is very simpler. As I told, you need to just remember the cube function, that is which is used to represent the cube with respect to obj and the teapot function, which is directly used to draw the teapot. So I'll just uh, check on the slides if you have missed anything here. Display, then viewport explanation, object, how the wall is being drawn, then how the wall is being translated and scaled to get a simpler object. Do remember in this phase, once the object is being translated, if I combine or compress, I can call scaling as compression as well, a small name for scaling. If I compress this object with the help of scaling, I'll get this word. So this is how the importance of scaling works for an translated object. So you are creating an object that is nothing but a wall. Then you are drawing the legs of the table, screen of the table, and you are drawing a teapot. So that was the output of your program.